In the previous video, we saw that this section here, when we put background, it outputs the background. So this is how you define a section. Let's get it back to introduction. And let's say now that you are writing, say, a report where you have some basic content like a section, an introduction, and then a section on, say, related work. And then I have my background is in computer science with a bit of math, so my structure might be a bit influenced by that. But let's say here we have an our approach, then a section on discussion. Please have a look at what's happening here. Okay, have a look at what's happening here on the side. Section, then conclusion. Okay, so we do Control S and they will all show here. So this is the structure of our document. I hope you notice that the file outline title now makes sense. We are actually getting the structure of our document here as well. So you can, if you have a long document, you can just navigate through it by using this, the different tabs. You see how the cursor moves there. Now let's say that under your introduction you are writing some motivation text, then you want to define say the aim and objectives of your work, still under introduction. So we want to have a subsection here, yeah, subsection aim and objectives. Say that we want also to have a subsection on manuscript organization. So this is how you do it, and you get the manuscript organization. You can also go further, by the way, in the organization. Let's say you have a subsection, not subsection. Under subsection we have a subsection that is optional objectives, for example. So here optional objectives shows here. So here I will write just optional, just putting some very basic text under these sections to separate them. Here you go. Okay, so you see how they are organized. By the way, you can also see here the content of the file organized into table of contents. Oh, I put it before make title. You see, because I put it before make title, it shows before the rest of the paper. Okay, but if I want to put it like under the title, so within the body of the paper, of the article, I do it this way. Yeah, okay. So table of contents after make title to get it here within the content of the file. After the title. So you see that we have here our table of contents generated with just one line, and it gives you a summary of the organization of the file. In our case, it's pretty useless because the organization is already clear because it's empty. But once it's filled up, it might be good to have an overview of what you have done. And depending on what you are submitting, you might need to submit a table of contents anyway in your document. Okay, now one more thing. Let's say that you think about it and you see, okay, I only have one subsection here. Maybe it's not really worth giving it a number. So in order to remove the numbering and just keep it as a title, you add an asterisk at the end. To a subsection, a section, subsection, and as well as many other environments under and commands under Linux. So by adding the asterisk at the end of the name, it does not number them. In this case, it disappeared from the table of contents, but you will see that it is still here. Yeah, it is still as an optional objective, as a title here. So that was it for the sections and subsections, etc. Maybe one last comment. If we move to book class, okay, let's convert this document into a book quickly and see what happens. So again, as you already know, the title page is separate. Now we have a table of contents, and you will notice that the numbering now is starting with a 0 dot something. Yeah, it should be 1.1, etc. But because we are using the book class needs the main unit in the book class, or the highest level of units, is chapter. There is part as well, but that's a different thing. So chapter. Okay, so here if I add chapter and add chapter, say just 1, yeah, or chapter, oh no, actually not, let's give it a name. I just have introduction in my mind now. First, okay, just first. Okay, now you see that the numbering becomes correct. Yeah, why? Because they all fall under first, and first has the number 1. So the 1 here is coming from this. Yeah, if we remove chapter, they suddenly all become zeros. Yeah, and also if we do that, I think they will also immediately become all zeros. Here you go. Yeah, and the chapter itself disappeared from the title. Okay, so this gives us the chapter. Let's look at how it is created. Chapter 1 first. So as you see, of course, LaTeX takes care of all the formatting for you. Yeah, how the chapter is written and formatted, it is done, and it's correct. You don't have to double check it's done, written correctly. By correct, I mean that sometimes students don't know how to format the title of a chapter. Yeah, here it is fine. I told you earlier that article is organized into sections. Let's double check that. So I will leave chapter here and let's see what happens. The object has an error. Click on the error, and it will say that undefined control sequence on line 11 in main.tech. We only have one file anyway, we know which one it is. This is undefined. It doesn't understand what chapter is. Yeah, so an article does not speak chapters. And if you go to the file, so if you go to the PDF, you'll see that it simply ignored that and it produced the normal article. Yeah, so by commenting out and compiling, we still should get the same thing. Yeah, so that's it for the sections, subsections, and etc. The organization of documents into sections and chapters and so on.